Alright, making a video. And I don't have any subject whatsoever. Yeah. So anyway, people just keep missing the point on the value thing. And I don't know, I've just tried to make it so clear. And apparently I'm just not making it clear. Somehow they're just missing it. That there's the subjective part is just your interpretation of some other thing that's creating value. And when you subjectively react, your reaction is another instance of value creation. So if you don't have an emotional reaction, if it's something doesn't hurt you or please you, then your judgment is just your judgment of whatever you're looking at. And you're just saying, oh, that's not a good thing, but I'm not adding to the value by emotionally reacting and saying it's bad because I'm emotionally having a bad reaction. I mean, your personal emotional reaction isn't what makes the Holocaust a bad thing. It doesn't. The fact that you're upset by the images or depressed by them is a fact. And it's a fact that is more harm, but it's not what makes the Holocaust itself bad. The Holocaust itself was bad because a bunch of sentient organisms suffered. Alright, so it's a related subject. People keep saying too that we can't solve this and we can't do that. I mean, it's just such bullshit. All the questions are all resolvable, and there's always positive ways to get to the productive finish. There's always ways to grandfather bad behavior out, that kind of thing. So they always want to turn everything into some sort of draconian thing, and that's not how change has to be. So that's just the straw man. That's the Hitler card bullshit. But there is this other question about the fact that let us concede, or let's, for the sake of argument, I ask you to concede that life has been way too expensive. If you were to, be at the initiation point and you could stop the initiation of it, I would argue that would be a ethical obligation, because the 500 million years of sentient organisms redundantly living out lives of futility, purposelessness, for the sake to gratify hungers that never needed to exist at the cost of horrific suffering was horribly wasteful. It's just been that way. So we're stuck here more on top of the pile. So we're on top of this pile of corpses, on top of this pile of negative pain and suffering. We've sort of inherited a benefit at this huge price. And what's our obligation? Is it our obligation to count those past crimes, or is it our obligation to see only the future as being meaningful? I suppose I would argue that rationally, yeah, you can't clean up the past, and if there's some way for you to reform, to conform the broken machine into a working machine, that it would be okay. So I guess the analogy would be, let's say the car was working really badly for 10 years, and it consumed much more than it ever produced in terms of work. And so it was a huge loss in that it cost you a ton of money to keep maintaining it or something, blah, 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 blah. But now you've actually fixed it. There'd be no point in saying, I'm still going to throw it away because of its past performance. You'd just say, what's it going to do in the future? And, that's horse flies. That's sort of the obligation we have, in the sense that we've inherited this life. It's been built on, again, this, unimaginable, really, magnitude, volume of sentient experiences. Millions and millions of people dying of cancer, polio, Lots of primates have the same kind of diseases they died of. Lots of slow, miserable deaths have taken place, and we're built on top of that. And we can't really do much to fix that, right? We can't undo the past. And the only thing we can do, though, is look to the future and say, are we going to make the machine work efficiently, or is it really just time to say, no, you can't play with this? And I would argue that, yeah, if all we're going to do is redundantly create needs that don't need to exist, and gratify them inefficiently with, huge doses of horrific suffering thrown in, and that suffering disproportionately allocated, to certain individuals in certain classes, and we're going to make them do all the price paying. We haven't fixed the machine. It's still not good enough. Damn, horse life. So yeah, it's way underperforming. We've got to do better. And if you're not willing, you're evil. Yeah, pretty much. If you're not willing to say that this isn't good enough, yeah, you're evil. This is no other word for it. You just want to maintain a negative sum game. And that's the real point. I mean, I'm going to argue that you haven't got any much hope of getting to the zero sum, but you've got to at least try to, if you're going to defend the existence of life. If you're going to defend the machine, then you've got to explain how you're going to produce your profit efficiently, that it isn't going to be a slave trade, that it isn't going to be a race to the bottom, that it isn't going to be catastrophic losses, disproportionately allocated. And until you can do that, you got no business saying, pulling the lever for the machine, pushing the Borg button, do another round of the same old. You gotta do better than that. But of course, this doesn't mean anything to people, because they'll just step over it with some notion of hope and some notion of, well, maybe the super duper imaginary super duper thing waved its super duper and super dupered us, and so we would be disappointing the magic super duper doer if we didn't fulfill our responsibility to play out what appears to be a very crude and stupid game. And so, yeah, you're just going to nullify the obligation because you can cheat. The cheat's there. Everybody's going to support you in cheating. It's just it's the emperor's clothes thing. You're just going to tell the kid, me, to shut up. Fuck you. No, he is wearing a suit. Fuck you, kid. Shut up. We don't want to know anything about this reality crap and value equations and all that crap. We just want to get our bowl of potato chips. We just want to keep our hunk of the graft and maintain our status, and we don't want to have to deal with any limitations on our delusions. And that's really all they are. It's limitations on delusions. Because most of the people I'm talking to aren't people having 5 kids. These aren't people who have any interest in having 5 kids. So why are they defending it? Because they're afraid if the standard gets applied, that the standard's going to someday point to them. They're afraid of finger pointing, because finger pointing means, oh shit, I'm going to have to eventually account for my bullshit. And they don't want their bullshit to be on the accounting pile or something. What else can there be? It just is. There's nothing rational in any of this crap. I just can't have a rational conversation because people aren't being rational. They're just always looking for an escape hatch. always nitpicking and naysaying because they just don't want to rock any boat. They're so insecure in their position that they're always calculating, how will this change in mindset affect me? How might it obligate me? How will I, somehow be degraded in status or importance by this change in perspective? So they're like a bunch of noblemen, in a conversation about how we should end monarchy. And they all know that, oh yeah, that's right. That's why we are what we are. It's because somebody appointed us. We didn't earn it. We were just anointed. And, if we had to earn our place, we wouldn't have our place. Maybe a lot of people are thinking in those terms. Maybe that explains their desperate evasions of where all the evidence points to a biological mechanism that creates an artificial hunger, and you're calling it real cheese. You think natural is natural, and no, it's not. It's the biggest hoodwink ever, is the DNA molecule. The DNA molecule is Barnum all over the place. It just creates sucker traps everywhere. It counts on it. It's relied on it in all the little gimmicks, of the game we're playing, the gang warfare, and the selfish gene. So just admit it's a redundant and stupid game. We've heard the song a zillion times. Let's just acknowledge the fact that we lived and died a few billion times in between. Doesn't change the fact that it's all been done. Ugh. Bug in the lung. Yuck. Yuck. Fuck you little flies. Yeah, that's nature. Fun game. Inhale flies. Why? Yeah, how's it to the flies' advantage? Oh, shit. I mean, they think they're getting somewhere. They think they're winning. Oh, I'm winning. Yeah. You just got inhaled, asshole. Where did you win? What was your prize? Yeah, really, it's not tasty. Anyway, so where do I go from there? So, yeah, I didn't mean this video to go anywhere, but just as I started off nowhere, so it did go somewhere. And the point is these are all answerable questions if you apply reasoning carefully, and as long as you don't cheat the argument, it's clear. Okay? I mean, no one's telling you to jump off a bridge or run into a brick wall. But what you really can't be doing is subsidizing or supporting people to keep pulling the arm on this one-armed bandit. To keep, putting another quarter in the maniac machine. That's just bad. That's bad behavior. Quit fueling this bad fire. And do the right thing. Recognize that we've been dealt a lemon, and that's it. It's just bad. You can't fix this pig. The pig ain't made for flying. It ain't made for walking. And it's dead. Just admit it. Can't be made into anything. Can't transform it into anything. It's just pointless desire, pointlessly imposed, and inefficiently satisfied. uh, just doesn't go anywhere except failure. That's the only place you can go. Sadly. Just the way it is. Not your fault. But it is the truth. Alright, looking around. Always little interesting stuff sometimes. Like, big giant water moccasins and stuff. I believe those are snails. That's a good thing to see. Oh, and a crawfish. Look at that. There's a crawfish there. You see the crawfish? Do you see it? Huh? Do you see it? Do you see it? I don't know if you see it or not. There's a tiny one. Yeah, it's good to see those snails though. Yeah, I haven't been to many snails in the stream lately. Last few years. So, that's good. A little sign of hope and health. See if it lasts. Anyway, whew, I'm hot. I think I'm betterish. I think. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's better when I started. But I don't think I'm bad. So I think I'll make it home okay. Do a little work and such. So till the next time. And such. And so forth and whatnot. A little add-on video. These little flies are incredible. There's always something, with each time of year, each week you move through the summer, there's some new pain in the ass thing that shows up. So like last week it was horse flies were getting terrible. And now there's these little black flies that won't go away. I don't know what the hell they are. They're not gnats. They're some kind of other... They don't bite. They just jump in front of your mouth and try to get swallowed. And the irony of it, Anyway, so it did make you think. You hear these stories of lions being driven insane by flies. And they'll jump into rivers to get away that are full of crocodiles. It's just, you're just like, just how insidious, the game of nature can get. Yeah, it's just so stupid. Over stupid things, like stupid little flies. Trying to eke out a living, and somehow, their normal, this works for us thing. Somehow it works for them to do this, whatever it is. I don't know what they're trying to do. This doesn't make any sense. But whatever it is, and it's failing, and it's irritating me. So it's like a lose-lose proposition. They're going to die, and they're ruining my nice, pleasant evening walk. Assholes. Go away, you little fucks. Anyway, just totally obnoxious. So anyway, that's it. Can't really do a video. I'm too distracted by the little fuckers. Till next time.